house for me today. CBC will always bring you innovative information, new stuff, new information, and a lot of entertainment. You can reach us on 0977771858, 09771858. Send us an SMS, send us a WhatsApp. Tell us what you think of the program, or indeed criticize us, or give us a compliment. Say something to us. 0977771858. I have in the studio now with me Mr. Chola. Sorry, Mr. Chola, what's the full name, sir? Mwitwa. My apologies. Mr. Chola Mwitwa, who is from the KAIZEN Institute, and you're the executive director, I believe, sir.
The Chief Executive Officer.
Chief Executive Officer. Well, you see, again, got to get my facts right. Sorry about that. First of all, sir, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you very much, sir, and good morning, viewers.
Okay. Maybe you could just explain to us, what is the KAIZEN Institute? Zambia Limited, that's right, Zambia Limited, which means it's international, right? Because yours is Zambia Limited.
It's local.
It's local.
But globally.
Ah, fantastic. You are international as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Thank you, Sakandaba, for the opportunity availed to me and to the KAIZEN Institute of Zambia Limited. You want to know who we are?
Yes. Who is KAIZEN? What are they all about?
The KAIZEN Institute of Zambia is a very unique organization established under the Companies Act as a non-profit making organizations to fast track the promotion of quality and productivity among both private and public sector organizations. The members of the organization or the guarantors are the Zambia Development Agency and Zambia Bureau of Standards under the aegis of the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry. We are officially launched last year in June by the Secretary to Cabinet, and we became operational. We are currently located at the Kwacha House Annex on the first floor. We are promoting, as I said, productivity using KAIZEN.
What is KAIZEN?
Okay. KAIZEN in Japanese means change for better.
Change for better.
Yes, or simply continuous improvement in whatever you do in the processes, so as to produce a quality good. As the institute, we are promoting the KAIZEN, which is anchored on 3 pillars. Pillar 1 is quality control cycle, QCC. Pillar 2 is total quality management, TQM. And pillar 3 is standardization under ISO.
So getting an ISO standard.
Yes. Our belief is that KAIZEN has come at the right time as a tool that we believe will be used to achieve our national development objectives. KAIZEN brings with it a discipline. In fact, it is, to me, I call it a dynamite, which is about to explode. Once it explodes, the attainment of development objectives, including the 2030 vision, will be getting there.
Okay. Now, I'm trying to understand how are you, first of all, maybe let me ask you this question. Are you working with specific companies, or is it out there for people just to come and knock on your door and, get advice? How do you actually operate? How do you actually work this? Because for all these things to work, they have to be put into the various industries, the various companies, the various media houses and so on that are out there. Now, how do you transfer your knowledge and information and everything you're trying to do into the economy, into the industry?
Okay, I think before I answer, let me just give you a synopsis of our background.
Okay.
The way the KAIZEN program, I think, effectively came to Zambia in 2009. And it started at a business seminar that organized between JICA and Zambia Association of Manufacturers.
Yes.
At that conference, the Japanese JICA presented Kaizen and how it has been a very useful tool in their development history, where just after their distractions, they looked for methodologies where they can fast track their development, and they came out about Kaizen and started doing it. It is a tool that is anchored on small group activity.
Okay.
Now, at that conference, I remember the minister then, and I was there.
Yes.
We thought it was a very good tool. And by that time, I used to work for Zambia Development Agency as a planning and policy manager.
Okay.
So we are looking for tools and methodologies to promote industries that are efficient and effective in their use of natural resources and internationally competitive. So we thought this tool can be a tool that we can use in Zambia to promote.
Okay.
And that time also, even now, the CTI policy, Commerce and Industry Policy, requires that we have a manufacturing sector that's export-led.
That's right.
And internationally competitive.
Yes, right.
So we need to have methodologies of tools of how we can attend that. So this tool to us became a tool that we think, here we are. We can use this tool.
That's right.
To achieve
this purpose.
these
goals.
purposes.
Yes.
And after that, we sought some support from JICA, and they gave us an expert. And I think I'm not sure to mention that we had a very good expert then, in the name of Kiyoshi Adachi. He's since gone back to Japan. He helped Zambia Development Agency establish a framework through which we can begin to promote this. At that time, I took keen interest and worked with him to identify businesses. Now, he wanted to know how he's working companies. Yes. At that time, between 2009 and now, there are about 50 organizations where this tool is being deployed. And I'll mention a few.
Okay.
First of all, from the public sector, I'll mention about the local authorities. In between 2012 and 2013, we had piloted it in 3 local authorities, namely Petaroke District Council, Kalushi District Council, Kapirimposhi, and Nakonde.
Okay.
Now, when this tool was deployed, we got very amazing results. Now, let me give you a few results in Kalushi Municipal Council that time.
Yes.
They were able to solve problems that affected the ability to provide quality services. So they were able to reduce the public complaints by 18%. They were able to increase their revenue by another 18%. And they totally eliminated double allocation of plots.
Okay.
So Kaizen is in a very big way a problem-solving tool. So now this is the public sector. In the private sector, I've always said about this. There is one SME organization. In fact, there are 2. One of it is a small primary school in Chilenge, called Grandma.
Okay.
Well, they've been doing Kaizen 5 years. They were able to increase mathematics past 100%. They were able to inculcate in their pupils the virtues of timeliness, orderliness, where you put things, how you maintain that whatever you do is properly kept. This is the private sector.
Okay.
It's more SME. The other one is a company called Wazanga Processing. I don't know if you've been to a shop where you found a drink called Spark.
I've seen it.
That company is owned by Mwembe's Chola.
Okay.
Before they started deploying Kaizen, they had problems of sales, paying wages. When they deployed these two, they were able to increase sales by 5% within a period of 1 year.
Okay.
The other organizations which are big and doing very well, which I can mention that they are doing Kaizen. National Milling does it. On the copper belt, in Kana Water is doing it. Oh, yeah, on the public sector, sorry, I forgot to mention some.
Okay.
Rural Development Agency, they've just deployed it now.
Okay.
And they've put in place a directorate which is aimed at promoting the issue of quality and productivity. So just to mention a few.
Okay.
KCM on the copper belt. Strong Pack, Sagisa Spinning, non-ferrous metals and in dollar.
Okay.
In Lusaka, state insurance is one of it that has just deployed it.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Mwitwa, if I can just pop in there.
Yes.
It's all well and good to mention all these companies and SMEs. I am trying to, because somebody listening out there is asking, so how does it work? How do you make it work? I think that's the crunch, because yes, all these companies are using it, but how are they putting it into effect? How does it actually work?
Okay. As I said, it's based on, in fact, the three pillars that we're promoting. The QCC stands for Quality Control Circle. It's a group of frontline workers who regularly meet to identify problems and solving them at their place of work.
Okay.
Now, each place of work, the workers themselves are given tools. For example, there are famous tools that you begin with. For example, 5S. 5S simply stands for, there are 5 sounding Japanese words. We start with SERI, which means sorting out, SETU, standardization, and discipline. In the first place, when you go to a place, you must build an environment that supports efficiency. You need to find goods and services, those items that you might not want at all. Isolate them. Those that you want, those that you want. Those that you don't want, there's no need for you to keep them. Okay. You either throw them away or sell them. Now, those that you want now, you put them in a particular order. If it's your desk, you don't need to put a file that you not use in that day on your table. Whatever you use frequently must be nearer your table. And those that you might not use that day, there's no need to put them on the table. Put them in the drawer,
cabinet or something.
Yeah, the drawer. And the thing that you might not use in the first, you put them on the last bottom of your drawer. Don't that you so you create an environment where you don't have cables around you that makes you, and then from there you now become to, all these are governed by certain tools and disciplines. Easy to weigh, easy to pick, easy to find. And then once you do this, now you find a situation that, but now you are comfortable with it. Yes. You can now standardize it. So these are some of the things that we do. Okay. And we are looking for methodologies that eliminate waste. This is what we call 3 MOVE. Look for, identify whatever you think is a wastage in your system or create an instability, eliminate it. We call 3 MOVE elimination. And in Zambia, which is said to be a high-cost economy, if we begin to eliminate wastage in our processes, do you know what we are doing? We are reducing cost. And when we begin to reduce cost, what's happening to our revenues?
They're increasing.
You are increasing. So competitiveness is going up. So indirectly, it goes in. And the type of Kaizen that I spoke about that we are promoting is based on quality first. Because the pursuit of quality promotes productivity. This is what we call QCD. Quality up, cost down, delivery up, service up. These are the tools that we use. And we've got a number of tools that we use. For example, PDCA. Maybe you are aware about it. P stands for plan. D for do, C for check, A for act. When you are planning, in Kaizen, we believe in measurable outputs. You must be able to measure the improvement that you are going along. So in the planning, you are analyzing and interrogating your environment by figures. And then you are able to set targets. And now you are going to do it. And we are trying to avoid the situation where we are just talking. You know, some people come to the office, can you organize a workshop to come attend? I'm telling them, no, we are not about workshops. If you've got a business that if you want to grow and expand, come to us, we'll come to you at a place of work, which in Japanese they call gemba. We will go there and see the progress, and you yourself will be able to measure it. So this is what we do. And after the company is doing that, we've got tools that makes a worker within the quality control center. A worker is provoked to think you have got infinite possibility within yourself to do whatever you can do. Nobody can prevent from you. And each worker is provoked to think creatively. Kaizen emphasizes more on the brain and less on resources. We depend to make their workers more emphasized, exploit them, because they have infinite possibilities. And then the workers contribute to the well-being of the company, enterprise, and society at large.
Okay. So basically, one of the things you do, first of all, I like the fact that you talked about workshops. So you don't necessarily hold workshops and seminars and things like that in themselves. What you'll do is you'll go to an individual company and and then work within the environment that is there. Okay, I think that's the question was going to be how efficient is the process, but that for me I think is answered in that particular thing, because I think it's like a classroom. A workshop is like you're teaching 40 people, 40 students, but what you're doing is you're taking a one-on-one approach. So you get more efficiency that way. It's like a student going to a teacher and you're sitting with the teacher one-on-one. Okay, fantastic. So what has been the success rate so far of Kaizen in Zambia?
Before I spoke about workshops, we do all workshops not for those organizations which are pressing Kaizen to come and showcase the successes and the efficiencies down there they've gained using the tool.
Okay.
And this we hold it once a year.
Okay.
And this company comes, so you guys, we face these problems, we solve them like this using our tools. Now you're talking about success rate. I don't know how you can measure it without a baseline. Kaizen has now gone global, though it started in Japan. The countries in the Far East which are doing very well, most of them are deploying Kaizen. In 2013, I was privileged to go to Malaysia.
Yes.
And the Minister of Finance was launching a productivity report. And he said, we are seeking to be a high-income economy. And we want to raise our national productivity index from some level to 4.3. Okay. The unfortunate part in Zambia is that we haven't yet established a baseline.
Okay.
But we are working with the Japanese experts now who are going around. And we hope we are going to establish a national productivity index, both from the labor point of view and from the capital point of view. Based on that one, then we'll be able to tell that with the intervention we are putting in place, we hope to raise our national productivity level to this level, and now that will impact our national development activity. Why this is important is, most economies which are doing very well, we've got bigger GDP. And if you are able to unbundle the GDP and identify the factors which support the growth of GDP, you see these two clearly: investment levels and productivity levels. Investment levels, investment are a market phenomenon. They go to where they see safety and so forth.
That's right.
And when we are putting in place things like Kaizen, which in the view brings a discipline, it's going towards enabling that environment for enhancing investment flow.
Okay.
And also Kaizen promotes productivity. And these are some of the concepts for which we haven't actually thought through. If you look at the CTI policy, the one I referred to, where government is trying to have manufacturing contribute 20% to national GDP. You know what this entails? Currently, manufacturing is contributing about 10 to 11% to national GDP. We are thinking of doubling this. We need to do a number of things. One of the easiest one is double the number of factories.
Okay.
But can that be done easily? Very difficult. The easiest way is to improve productivity. Where one person is making a bicycle, if he can be making 2 bicycles per day, then you know that's why
you're doubling.
Yeah, you are your productivity. That's so right. This is the route that we think. Make a person work extraordinary by reducing on some of the irrationalities around it. Make him work efficiently by spending time doing things. Let's spend time achieving well.
Instead of having tools set out all
yes,
over the place,
moving unnecessary movements, muda. There is a famous word which is used in Kaizen, muda. Muda is wastage.
Yeah. And
wastage is at various sources.
That's right.
And people have identified 7 sources of muda, the experts. They'll tell you if you are going to be spending time doing nothing, it's a wastage. Our friends, the time management, Japanese have now told me, if you are called for a meeting, be there 5 minutes before time. On the dot, start the meeting. If you delay by 10 minutes, you are creating a wastage muda. Abort it. Go and deploy your time and effort. It's something that you can use well.
Okay.
And we are talking about management. Our friends were saying, if a manager currently is not able to manage change the manager. Don't waste time. This is some of the things the discipline we are bringing around so that we can turn around whatever we are doing wrong. So these are some of the success stories that we are doing.
All right. Mr. Mwitwa, unfortunately, we're running out of time, but I find this very, very fascinating, to be honest with you. first of all, I know how the Japanese, I've read and heard about how the Japanese work and the efficiency of the Japanese. And the fact that this is coming out of the Japanese background does not surprise me. The way it's going. I'm just looking at it here on my thing. I have actually gone on to, I was Googling it while you were talking, because I wanted to understand a bit more. I would like to invite you to come again, but this time, and I think we'll talk off air, but I would like you to come back, because I think there are things that you can articulate with more time, and people will actually appreciate more, because I feel there's a lot of things that Zambians in general, us included here at CBC, could actually make use of, and who knows, maybe we could ask you to come and teach it here, but I would like you to come back onto the program, and I'll make arrangements for you to come back at a different day, where we can sit down and you can articulate a bit more, go through all the 3 pillars, work on them one by one, so that people really understand what it's all about. It's one thing to just say, oh, okay, the Japanese work hard and the Japanese work efficiently, but and we're not picking up at all on what you're trying to put out there, because I feel what you have to give is actually very, very important for this country. So first of all, I just want to thank you so much for coming onto the program, and maybe you could just once more just tell us how people can reach you. You did say you were at Kwacha House, but maybe you could just give us a few more details, your phone number if possible, if you have an email address or anything, so maybe some people who are listening to the program might get in touch with you.
Yeah, thank you once more. We can be contacted or reached at the Kwacha House Annex, first floor. Offices from 1 to all half the first floor. But one thing I would like to emphasize is the question of quality. Quality promotes competitiveness and the growth of business. And the quality does not come out of systems. The systems are part of it, but our attitudes,
Yes, right.
everybody, the worker, the manager, a quality good comes of quality people, quality systems, and quality company. You don't get quality out of something like this. And I think we, at KAIZEN Institute of Zambia, we are promoting that. And there's one thing that we've forgotten about our forefathers did. The ego? The ego has got one aspect of it which I think is important for us to continue talking about it. There are a little what to use, but one of it that relates to KAIZEN is that the ego is not afraid of change, however painful it is. People have said that at the age 40, the ego goes away very far, in the very far places where it hides and removes the peak. I don't know how it does it, but there's no painkiller there.
Of course not.
And it removes the fire itself and stays for about a few days, and then comes back, and it's able to live for another 30 years.
Wow.
So, and KAIZEN is about change. Sometimes change can be painful, but let's go through it for a better, so that we can renew.
Come back, better companies, better people,
Yes.
better economy.
Yes.
Fantastic. Mr. Mwitwa, unfortunately, I have to ask you to stop just there for today, but thank you once more for coming on to the show, and we'll definitely have you back on, and we'll discuss this much, much more in depth.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
for
sir.
the opportunity.
Thank you. There you are, viewers. We were talking about KAIZEN, a very, very interesting concept, and we had Mr. Mwitwa, who is the Chief Executive Officer of KAIZEN Zambia Limited, and we just want to thank him so much for coming on. There's a lot of stuff that we tend to take for granted, and we think, well, I love the example of the efficiency of a person working around a table. Wastage comes from so many different things. Just the time you take to stand up and go and pick up a tool that is sitting far away from you when it should have been sitting next to you is time that is being wasted when you could have been doing something productive. Small little things, but they mean so much. And we'll be talking to him again, and I'm sure he'll give us much, much more information. We'll be back very, very shortly. Please don't go away at all.